Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, Knotty Crew. Just giving YouTube a chance. Hey, be more shorty. Happy Monday.
Thank you. A very big thank you to Pennsylvania.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to Naughty Love Movement. It's your host, Naughty. Bring you the latest and trending topics. I vlog my life. Yes, I do. Got a great show lined up for you today. I want to get into some deep discussions. Want to challenge you a little bit, okay? Because I got to thinking about certain things, especially with the diddler and the politics that are going on and all the shenanigans and the dramatization, if you will, that is going on right in our face. And because of the smoke and mirrors that have been presented to us, it challenged me to think of some things like these people are all liars. Thumbs up this video, share this video out. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. We are on the path to 5K. All right. Also, donations are definitely appreciated. Yes, they are. Mmm. There's a lot coming to light. Hey, Bree. There's a lot coming to light, right? And we can't be fooled, Naughty Crew, because a lot of this stuff is orchestrated. Let's just keep it real, right? Hold on. Please thumbs up this video. I'm giving YouTube a chance to send out some notifications. I was a little late. I ran behind with my appointment. Oh, gosh. But please, if you can, donate to the channel. We need a new laptop over here, okay? Hopefully I can get it this week. But there's a lot of smoke and mirrors going on, Naughty Crew, and we need to pay attention, even with the diddler. Because, you know, I challenge you. He's been coddled for 30 years. Why now? They want us to believe that he's arrested. But how do we know he's not in protective custody working out the deal? And they're putting on this whole show, having his family show up to court. But we really don't know that he's there. We don't have a mugshot until the trial date. But even R.Kelly, we got his mugshot, right? Why is the diddler any different? And I get that the New York federal courtroom does not allow cameras and things like that. But I don't know. Until I lay eyes on him, what's really going on, Naughty Crow? Thumbs up this video. Is the diddler really in jail, or was this a whole show? You know, on the tail end of all these lawsuits coming out, you know, the federal government has pressure from the public to lock him up. But y'all been in the diddler's pockets all these years. Hey, AT2. I'm just saying, I'm trying to challenge my Naughty Crew to think above and beyond what is being presented to us. Because the diddler, he got a lot of power. Trust me. And this is not to take away from his victims and things like that. I'm just looking at the history of this man being able to weasel his way out of things. What makes this any different? That's why I want to get my behind over to that courthouse for this court case. I need to lay eyes on the diddler. I need to make sure they got him for real. I want to see with my own eyes. In the past, they have allowed this man to tamper with witnesses and he got acquitted. Sean went down. And let me tell you something about that situation with Sean. Although the diddler set him up to take the fall, he was guilty. He was shooting the blicky right alongside the diddler. Now, the diddler should have been in there with him. But Sean was guilty. I don't know why people don't talk about that. Yes, please share this video. Okay. So lots going on. Jason Lee speaking on the whole Piers Morgan, Jay-Z, and Beyonce. Him basically saying that people are reaching out to him. He also spoke on Kamala Harris, and I just want to, respond to that. So we're going to get into that. We also going to get into Gucci Third Leg, who is a YouTuber, I believe, and an influencer. A young lady, I believe she's an OnlyFans model. She is spilling the beans on this dude spreading the herb, okay? Openly and freely, okay? So we're going to get into her exposing him. We have his response. That's why I kind of sat back on this story. Please thumbs up the video. Please donate if you can, because YouTube does not like commentary like this. But I feel like our young people, we need to have a conversation with them. They need to be aware. We need to start taking them back to basics when they had ex-ed in school and having conversations about them protecting their health and how to be responsible when engaging in X. All right? Because I just really feel like the industry has opened this door where the young people just feel like they could just sleep with whoever without consequence. And that's just not the reality. There's real life consequences to doing things like that. Okay? And they can last you a lifetime. So thumbs up this video. We're going to get into it. R.Kelly is firing back based on the documentary that his daughter has put out, and she is now telling her story of how her father took her innocence and violated her, and who knows what he exposed her to, right? The STIs and things like that. Then I was waiting for this one. Bow Wow speaking on the diddler. Okay, I was waiting for him to speak. You want to know why? Because the diddler was dating his baby mama. Joy Chavez. Yeah. The one that just came out with her thoughts on people judging her because she has 3 baby daddies. All right. Then we're going to get into Tia Kemp. Like, Tia Kemp sat down with Tasha K and spilled all the deets, okay? On the tail end of that, Rick Ross, other bitter baby mama, came out to expose her and say she need to be at the hospital with her son. Come to find out, the son was a victim of a drive-by. You know what? Y'all fill it in, okay? And Tia has blew her top. And let's just say emotions are going to be high when your child is in a situation like that. No parent wants to see their child hurt, injured, and fighting for their lives. No parent wants to see that. All right. So we're going to get into that. Cardi B celebrated her birthday. Okay. We're going to get into the highlights of that. And then last but not least, I want to get into the music industry being bankrupt. Okay? And I think the diddler figured this out early. But we going to touch on this. Okay? Because they love to play in our face. Just like they thought Diddy, the diddler, was a billionaire. Come to find out, he was just a high-priced influencer using other people's money. Okay? He really didn't have $1 billion tangible cash. All right? And what you're going to see is a lot of these musicians, what they're presenting is a whole facade. They're selling you a package, okay, that is bankrolled through all these major labels, okay? So got a great show lined up for you guys. Please thumbs up the video. Share the video out. Excuse me, my perimenopause. I'm heating up, okay? I thought it was going to be a little cooler out here, but it's not. Actually, I need the cool air. Thumbs up the video. Oh, also, sorry, I skipped this one. CJ So Cool, who is a YouTuber, his baby mama, hey, Feminem, coming out here accusing him of SA. Yes, so we got a deep line up here going on. So I need for y'all to like this video, share it, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And if you can, please donate, because YouTube does not like this type of commentary, but I like to bring awareness. And over here at the Knotty Crew, we speak in facts, all right? And we deal with the realities of situations. And you're going to see as I break down these different topics in the show, the influence that the diddler, the attitude, the influence that it has had on our young people, and how they're really living Sodom and Gomorrah in real time, right in front of our eyes. And you got these narcissists that don't care who they affect, how they affect people. They don't care. So thumbs up this video, okay? Up first on the docket, we're going to get into Jason Lee commentary. It's a couple of things in his show I want to talk about. First thing being, he got in, Jason Lee is in his politics bag. He is running for, councilman or something out there in California. And he bragged about how Riri supported him, Floyd Mayweather supported him. You gotta be careful who you garner support from, okay? Because Floyd, he next on the docket to be diddied. I'm just saying, do you really want that man endorsing your campaign, Jason Lee? Better be careful who you rub elbows with. Not all money is good money. And I know you want to get to a certain level, but as you can see, you have to be careful who you commingle with. Look at what's happening to Jay-Z and Beyonce getting tied in with the Diddy stuff. One thing I agree, in the beginning, there was little whispers and rumors, Jay-Z going down, what does Beyonce know? But the conversation is getting louder and louder, according to Jason. And I agree with him, right? All right, so he talked about Kamala she was able to raise $1 billion. Now, his gripe with her is that she didn't take not even 1% to put it back in black media. Put it out in black media. All right, so let's hear what he has to say.
Pennsylvania, and as I was
Hold on.
saying,
I don't care about Donald Trump. Okay, here we go.
With guns, at the direction we're going in with, let's say, funding wars outside of our country. There are bigger topics that we should be talking about and that we should be hearing from both candidates. So where I'm getting frustrated with Kamala and Donald is that all of you guys are doing is arguing over who has the best marketing campaign to get the job, whereas I do want to hear answers on real issues. Now, with Kamala, she's at least doing interviews where she's staying to her policy, her messaging is being more consistent, and she is getting some of it out there, but there are key things like the economy that I still don't have an understanding. I mean, have either of you gotten a grasp on what her economic plan is?
I think she has pinpointed something.
You just don't want to say nothing.
I do. I think she's.
Question is, do you understand her economic plan?
Yes.
What
yes,
is it?
And I think her economic plan focuses on making sure that the middle class have living wages. For example, not living wages.
Wait, not McDonald's at $20 an hour with a Big Mac now $9.99.
Not that the middle class have living wages, but the middle class have economic opportunities that allow them to have financial freedom, right? So giving people $25,000 to buy their first home, making sure that people have a child tax credit that's extended beyond the one that was already there. So they're trying to make sure the middle class can survive, because when the middle class pours money into the economy, everybody does well. And if the wealthiest people in our country are paying their fair share of taxes, it trickles down and everyone is able to sustain.
But instead of it being a soundbite, I know what tax bracket I'm in, and as somebody who's not, I mean, am I considered middle class? Well, I feel real middle class. So. Even with the money I make, I feel middle. I feel middle to lower class at this point. But what I will say is that when you say I'm going to tax the people who make billions of dollars, what is that tax bracket and how does that equate into revenue so we understand, and where is that money going to go? Is it too much to ask what that detailed plan would be at this phase?
No, I don't think it's too much to ask. But again, I think when you start to look at economic policies, she can't have a conversation in a 20-minute interview about the intricacies of the policy in that way. I think that there are economists who have broke it down, and we can do the research and like read those reports and figure out how that money will affect us as a whole in a better way. But that, you know, the people who have reviewed the policies between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump do say that her policies are, you know, effectively would be better for the economy.
Yeah, I've seen that. Well, back to her owning a gun. You know, Kamala says she owns a gun, and of course that became a conversation. People want to know, what kind of gun do you got? She
Why
did an
wouldn't
interview with
she?
CBS News, and of course, question came up. Take a listen.
I don't care about that.
Well, anyway, his daughter's mama and the other girl that he was with at the time, which became one of his wives that he divorced, he was messing with one while he was with the other then. So this is nothing new. So I don't even know why we're actually, you know.
Hold on. Let me back up. I think I didn't go back further enough. Sorry.
Because I told her myself. And I feel at this point of the conversation, she could be moving.
The Jason Lee Podcast.
I guess he got rid of Gag City.
Money building an arena that's underutilized, and I'm like, yo, taxpayers shouldn't pay for that. So I was able to take Floyd to the arena and show him the arena. Here's a bus outside looking at the arena and talk.
Child, you want
Effectively for her, she should have made this a priority, and I don't think that people should, you know. Anyhow. Thank you, Floyd, again for showing up. It feels good to have friends who always show up for you. You know, I have friends, you know, Rob and the friends in my life that you all know from social media, but when you have somebody who constantly is when they're in a position where they don't have to show up, they can just send money, they can say something online, but show up for you whenever you need them, wherever you need them, you know, that is... Less than 30 days away before we no longer have to talk about these two, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Well, we'll probably be talking about them after the election, because if Donald Trump loses, he's not going to say he lost. He's going to say he was robbed, and then we're going to have to go through a mini civil war, similar to what we did back in January of 2020. And then she's going to take office as the first black female, and then the whole world is going to feel the way they feel about that, which I think is going to be very unifying. And it's just going to be a very interesting time in the United States. But Donnie has said that if he loses, or when he loses, he will never, ever come back.
right.
I know people who've caught chlamydia and said that they would never catch it again. And they did. Not that Donald Trump reminds me of chlamydia, but you know what I'm saying. Like, people say things and then they change their mind. All right, before we get started with Fight Night right here between these two, let me just jump right into something that is creating conversation online. As you know, I am a culture disruptor, and I have disrupted the culture because I'm saying what all of us are talking about behind the scenes. Everybody knows that my business is a black-owned media company, not black targeted, black owned. And one of the conversations I've been having for a long time with the Vice President of the United States is how she can connect a little bit more closer in a real organic way to the culture and to those telling stories, black owned media companies that tell black stories, or black stories that need to hit to the heart of the black community. And for the last couple of years, we've been having this conversation, and recently, you know, in the midst of the conversation happening behind the scenes with a lot of us that own these platforms, an article came out that I saw online yesterday, and this is what it said. It said, Kamala Harris has raised $1 billion since entering the presidential race. But I realized, after talking to all my colleagues, she spent less than 1%, if even that, with black-owned media companies. And I recently, on one of our shows, talked about the fact that she needs to start circulating some of those dollars with black media agencies to target black-owned or black, owned entities to reach our culture. And It hasn't happened. So to the people that had a lot to say online, let me be very clear. This is not about me saying that Donald Trump is the better candidate, because I can still like Kamala Harris. I have said on my platform that I am going to vote for Kamala Harris, but I'm not going to vote for her and not hold her accountable. And some said that she may not know. Well, if she's the vice president of the United States running to be the president of the United States, she's supposed to know. And I know she knows because I told her myself. And I feel at this point of the conversation, she could be moving the needle further ahead for DEI in my sector.
All right, Jason. Okay, we get your point. Okay, here's my thing. Nobody's gonna ever be happy. At first, it was she doesn't sit down with any news outlets to talk. She does that, and now it's like she didn't spend enough of her $1 billion campaign on black media. So that got me to thinking, like, has she, like, but does it really matter at this point? Like, she had a very small window to run her campaign with. Do people forget that? She had a very, very small window to run her campaign with, and she's not going to be able to appease and make everyone happy. That's just the reality of it. All right? But here it is. I was like, I disagree with Jason. Because she sat down with the shade room. Your girl found it. Okay, Jason? She sat down with the shade room. Hey, Bobby. So Vice President Kamala Harris steps in with Justin Carter to discuss how she'll deliver for black men. Jason Lee, pay attention. Before you just spew innuendos out there, make sure you really, really, really standing on business. Yes, please thumbs up this video. Okay? Here we go.
Was campaigning for you in Pittsburgh before some students at the University of Pittsburgh, which is my alma mater. And he said some things that really ruffled some feathers in the news. He said, it makes me think you aren't just feeling the idea of having a woman as a president. You're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that. We have not seen the same kind of energy and turnout in all corners of our neighborhoods and community as we saw when I was running. So when you hear those words, I'm sure you were briefed on the situation. A former Ohio State Senator, Nina Turner, she came out on CNN and said, why are you, putting black men up against the wall and pressuring them into something that possibly, they don't want to do if they want to vote for you or not. So my question to you is, do you think that what President Obama said was the right thing to say?
All right. She sat down with the Shade Room. Thank you, Bobby. She also sat down with the Breakfast Club. And Couture Bay, you're right. It's giving he mad. She didn't come to his show, being that he's running and everything, He feels like he's on the same level as Kamala. But Jason, you known for being messy. Thumbs up this video. Thumbs up this video. So I felt like it was off kilter for him to even speak on her billions of dollars that she raised. Like, how you want to tell me how to spend my money? Right, 82. She sat down with Roland Martin. So what are you talking about, Jason Lee? What are you talking about? Because my Knotty crew seems to differ from what you're saying. And I just wanted to address that. But it just goes to show how people do things for clickbait and anything to trend and go viral. Now, granted, Jason has grown. He is grown, but he's still messy, okay? Which leads me to the next part of his show when he speaks on Jay-Z and Beyonce. Let me tell you something. Jason Lee has wanted Beyonce's validation for years, okay? Years. There's footage out there of Beyonce basically egging him when he was a bigger guy and running the other way, right? And he still seeks this validation to this day, okay? I remember one of his shows, it was around when she had the Renaissance tour, right? And he got in his feelings because he wasn't invited to her Renaissance movie premiere. And he went on a rant and said, oh, I spent thousands of dollars for a whole section and this and that. And I just felt like the entitlement. Why are you feeling so entitled, right? And so he did this whole big performance on his show. And then kind of played in our face. It was like, yeah, if you don't get Kelly Rowlands to come on my show, I'ma spill this. And he starts whispering to his co-host, and the co-host gives a reaction like, right? All right. Here it is. We're doing it again. I'm tired of Jason playing in our face. He clout chasing like a mug. All right. And he probably jealous because Pierce got the call from the lawyers and he didn't get a reaction out of the Carters the way he thought he would. And he thought he was going to buy this attention by supporting her concert and things like that. Now, he claims he's a big fan or whatever. I call it a fanatic, a stalker. Like, she doesn't like you, Jason. She doesn't like you. She doesn't like you. So let's get into what he had to say about the Carters.
The clarification was for her friend who had passed away, because like she can't defend herself.
I'm sick of Claudia too.
Like, oh, she was a mistress. She was this. So everybody's painting.
I'm sick of Claudia too. All right, thumbs up this video.
So I'm gonna get you because like, and maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe that's why people feel like they can attack me because I don't do it. Because like, who do you argue with on the internet? These are people who are watching who are gonna say whatever. And social media.
Let me back it up just a smidge.
So I'm gonna get you because like, and maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe that's why people feel like they can attack me because I don't do it. Because like, who do you argue with on the internet? These are people who are watching who are gonna say whatever. And social media allows people to say, why hasn't the vice president been killed or whatever, right? Why would Jay-Z and Beyonce, who never even go to Target for real, who are like, they're Beyonce and Jay-Z, why would they do that?
Because this is...
Why have I been getting calls?
Because this is like...
Why am I getting calls and I haven't even said anything?
Because this is the monster of all monsters.
Who? Me?
This Diddy case.
Why would I, Jason Lee, I'm getting calls.
You're getting calls, but not directly from them. Yeah.
And I haven't even said anything. They ain't called me to go to the Rock Nation brunch. They haven't called me to go to the Gold Party.
To accept being honored.
They haven't called me when we offered to honor Jay-Z at the award show. They didn't call me to go to the press conference about striking the deal with the NFL while we were kneeling for Kaepernick. They didn't call me to ask me what I thought about her hair care product. They didn't call me to offer a free bottle of her perfume. I didn't get to go backstage on her tour for the Renaissance. In fact, when the video circulated making it look like I've been chasing her around like a super fan, which I am a super fan, but I chase nobody.
Whatever.
Nobody's called me to...
You were chasing her. You were chasing her, and you were butthurt all these years because she still won't acknowledge you.
Shut up. I haven't gotten a delivery of white flowers with a little card from Beyonce. Why is everybody calling me now?
Oh, and you also stopped.
Don't we not going to even go there? I stopped a major...
I saw it in the comments. They are calling you because they want to hear your commentary. But it's not Jay and Day. It's not the Carters. Ciao.
Major thing for Beyonce. Didn't even get a thank you.
But
so
now everybody...
The entitlement.
Why is everybody calling me now? Because I'm a firefighter. I run towards fires. And I put them out, or I fan the flames. But why is everybody calling me now? And that's the problem that I have with this whole situation. But I am going to save this conversation for Jay-Z. Jay-Z, you're watching. I know you're watching because you got people.
There he go, name dropping again. The last one, it was Kelly Rowlands. It was a threat. He tried to leverage them for Kelly Rowlands. Like, come on, give me a break. Give me a break. He's jealous.
Let me stop having people call me. You can call me yourself. You know how to get my number. You know you got people calling me. Call me yourself, because this right here is going to go viral. The way my job works on the internet, everybody's going to be clipping and sharing on TikTok. Watch this. Do your thing, TikTok. Jay-Z and Beyonce is going to see this. I am exhausted with people calling me about Jay-Z and Beyonce. You've never called for anything else.
No, you started this. You started this playing with your show. Okay? You started this when you were butthurt because you weren't invited to her movie premiere. You started this and you're mad. People are calling. You're tired of people calling you. Jason, go. Never mind. I ain't going to do that.
I haven't even said anything about you yet. And yet I'm getting all these calls. I've gotten more calls over the weekend about Jay-Z and Beyonce. You know, I think this is an opportunity to have a bridge and have a conversation about how this thing works, because I'm not a publicist. I am not I'm just Jason, okay? And I have opinions about unlocking Hollywood. Remember I said at the top of the show, or somewhere in the show, that I was in love with the entertainment industry until I found out it was Jeffrey Dahmer. This is part of the gnawing at the wrist that the industry does. You know, black excellence, we don't show up for each other like we should. And then when the shit's about to hit the fan or some shit, you think I'm going to go fan some shit. Now you showing up. You know, again, I'm not angry. I'm a little disappointed because as much as I've loved this woman for years, I told you I don't like her as much as I used to. I still love her, but I'm not as super fan like I used to be. You know how much I was this woman, this is everything. And this.
Please thumbs up the video. He's talking about how he feels about Beyonce, okay? And this is why I don't idolize any celebrity or whatever, because they're selling you a package. That's not who they really are. And a lot of these people, I gather, if we got to know them behind the scenes, we would be like, I don't want to be associated with this mofo. But he in his feelings. It's all about Jason. Hey, Miss Brenda, it's all about me, 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 me. Why is everybody calling me? Why is everybody calling me? And he's acting like he has like all these secrets. He holds all these secrets, Hollywood Unlocked, okay? Or whatever. But where's the proof? Like, he's doing these things to go viral, people. Like, Jay-Z and Beyonce not thinking about Jason Lee. They not going to contact him.
Weather is everything. But is it?
Please thumbs up the video.
Now, Smokey the Bear is popping up. And I don't like forest fires. I do like the smell of wood, though. Because, you know, I burned some firewood. I think this is an opportunity to have a conversation. Because I believe that we as a culture should be very supportive of each other before this stuff happens, so that way our proximity to it can help us tell the real story.
So he's trying to drive this narrative and leverage a conversation with Jay and Bay. And he's trying to make it seem like now all of a sudden Jay and Bay are reaching out to him after the whole Piers Morgan situation. And I do y'all believe it? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I feel like smoke and mirrors. There's no proof that this all happened, and you're trying to leverage this to your benefit, and that's how I feel. Just like he tried to leverage Kelly Rowland. So, and you cannot blackmail people into supporting you. Either they're going to support you naturally or they're not. And it's proof out here that Bay don't F with you. Bay don't F with you. I don't care how many concert tickets you buy, Jason. You're just another consumer to her. That's it.
Why do you think Jay-Z is reaching out?
I think he does want to like put a lid on whatever.
I don't think it's Jay-Z reaching out.
I don't know if that means he's guilty.
I don't believe it.
He's trying to put a lid on what could come out because you have a big voice and you have a big platform.
I just feel like it's so...
The woman running Jay-Z's company used to traffic drugs. We know this.
Facts. We know this.
Allegedly.
That Desiree was connected to the cartel or to the people who were killing people and selling drugs. Now, whether she was not or not.
I mean, and Jay-Z is an ex-drug dealer, okay? I mean, maybe he has sympathy for her and wanted to help her change her life. Who knows? Maybe he's helping her wash money through his businesses. We don't know. Allegedly. And you bring that up for what? Okay.
He can choose whoever he wants to run his company. And I met her before. And she...
Just like he could choose whoever he wants to deal with in the media. You see the flippantness? He goes back and forth between Jay-Z and Bay, and he's a super fan, and this and that. Come on, Jason. He full of
She must speak
shit.
to the Don because that's what she was. The problem is, y'all are starting to realize that God is bigger than you. All the people y'all paying to intimidate people, not Jay-Z, but the industry, paying to intimidate people, threaten people, kill people, hanging them off the side of y'all doing all this reckless ass shit as multimillionaire billionaires. You deserve all the downfalls that you get. And this is the glass that nobody thought would ever have a crack in it. Well, until we saw the video with Solange kicking you in the elevator. We don't know what that was about. Again,
We do know what it's about. Beyonce made a whole album. He was cheating. And he was doing like these men do. Okay? So we do know what it's about. Let's go. Come on.
I don't even have free passes to the 40/40 club. Like,
And how you spent a lot of
The
money on all of
entitlement.
those songs.
Why
but
would
I
he?
did that because I never ever wanted to ask for anything free.
Right.
Because Floyd Mayweather taught me a long time ago, don't ask nobody for.
There he go using that Floyd Mayweather. Look, you keep using Floyd Mayweather, and you're gonna be in the same position as Jay and Bay, okay? When his lawsuit starts dropping, they're gonna be like, oh, well, you was good friends with Floyd. He donated to your campaign. He showed up. What do you think about his DV allegations? You know? Y'all was good. Y'all was cool. Coochie crunch.
Free because you don't want to be obligated to them. I pay for everything because I don't ever want people to say, why you say that? Don't say that. Don't. Nobody calls me and say, I say what I want to say. Now, somebody called me yesterday. Let me tell you a call I got yesterday. Somebody called me and said,
You don't say what you want to say, Jason, because that first show, when you whispered in your co-host's ear, why you ain't say, you say what you want to say. No, you know there's consequences when you say flippant things like this without no proof or anything like that. You know it's consequences. But this man is running for city council. I think he'll fit right in with all these lying ass politicians that love to play in our face.
Jason, don't talk about that Jay-Z thing because you know he's going to come and snatch your company. He's going to sue you. He's going to do this and that. I'm not afraid of Jay-Z. I'm not.
Yeah, I know you not. Because you was cozied up with his best friend. Sean P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Brother Love Combs. What happened to your Revolt show, Jason? What happened to Gag City? What happened to your Revolt show? Right.
What he's going to do because I'm not out here to say lies about Jay-Z. I love black excellence and I want to promote black excellence, which is why we wanted to honor Jay-Z this year, didn't we? Mm-hmm. And we were told Jay-Z don't like to be honored. Well, he took the honor from
No, he don't want to be honored by you. They don't want your company. Jason, accept it. Y'all not friends. Jay-Z and Beyonce said no new friends, no new friends, no new. Like, why do they need to be honored by Jason Lee? Why does he need? He's got all the accolades already. Why does he need to be honored by you? It's the entitlement for me, and it's giving bitter baby mama syndrome, and he mad that they will not validate him. And that's all I got on the Jason Lee spill. Like, I don't have time for the delulu. Okay? And he mad because he spent all that money on Renaissance tickets, and he still don't have the sit-down interview with Beyonce. Okay? He still can't get that validation from Jay-Z. He mad. He in his feelings. Let me see what y'all saying in the comments. Please thumbs up the video. Right. Who is Jason in mainstream media? Nobody. For his own selfish reasons. Are you even black, Jason? I think he's biracial. It's given delusional. He doesn't want to pay. Stop bringing up Floyd. Right. He you notice he got like, he loves the name drop. Like he's somebody, okay? He keep threatening them, but expect them to want to work with him. Right. That is like, he talks out both sides of his mouth. In one hand, he wants them to sit down with him, but then you turn around and threaten him. That's like psychopath behavior. I'm sorry. Yup. Hey, MBMB. He always makes disparaging comments about them. He was doing the same thing as a broke personality. Yup. He's playing games and they are out playing him. Right. Hey, Tarshella. Why would they reach out to him? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. But they don't have to talk to him. Who is he to them? Right. Too big for his boots. They have the right to say no. Exactly. It's a God-given right for them to say no. Right, MBMB. Why can't he just focus on his job and the content? He's still, hey, Miss Brenda. He's still looking for that Hollywood validation. Jason Lee. Hollywood is going down. You don't see what's going on? And you still want, we're finding out most of these people are monsters. Okay? And predators underneath it all. You really want to attach yourself to that? Maybe so. He wants to go into politics. That's my spill on the whole Jason Lee stuff. I don't feel like Beyonce and Jay-Z owe him anything, okay? And I think he's just a little butthurt and jealous about Piers Morgan and the fact that the lawyer actually spoke out and validated that they reached out to the Piers Morgan Uncensored show. Oh, he even made light of that. Notice, Piers Morgan Uncensored, like he copied off of him. Jason, go lay down. Don't nobody got time. Don't you got a campaign to run? Yeah. You got a campaign to run. He's annoying. He is annoying. Please thumbs up the video. Did y'all know Gunplay was out? When did Gunplay get out of jail? Girl. You know, Rick Ross' boyfriend. The one that brought him the chain in his bedroom. Rick Ross was laying there with no shirt on. And he's just like, all while he got a GoFundMe for his kid. He bringing Rick Ross chains in his bedroom. Then turned around and knocked the wife and the baby between the washer and dryer. When did Gunplay get out? Child. Ooh, child. Things are gonna get easier. Some people just belong in prison. All right, let's get into last week I did my reaction on the R.Kelly's revenge. His daughter telling her accounts of what her dad did to violate her. Yes, please interact with the video and thumbs up the video. And let me tell you, my heart broke for her, not her mama, her and the kids. My heart broke for them because, they mama and they daddy just didn't even do their due diligence to try to be decent parents to them or whatever. And it was deep. Well, R. Kelly's lawyers have responded because he trying to fight his case on appeals and he's losing every bit of them. I mean, he even went as far as try to use Tasha K as a scapegoat. Like, he's desperate. He'll do anything to get out of prison so that he could go back to his predatory ways. And sir, it's time to settle in. It's time to settle in. That's your home. That's your forever home, okay? So R. Kelly, and shout out to Baller Alert for this, R. Kelly's attorney fired back at daughter's abuse allegations, says he's very upset and denies all claims. So why wasn't it a CPS investigation? They did file a police report and things like that. And why weren't your children ever allowed back to your home? Okay. We're going to entertain it just a little bit, okay? Here we go.
Kelly's response to this, what is R. Kelly's response to this blockbuster allegation from his daughter?
Mr. Kelly vehemently denies the allegations. These are, frankly, not really new allegations his ex-wife made A similar allegation, I don't know, 15 or 20 years ago, the allegation was investigated by the Illinois Department of Children and
It
Family
was.
Services. He was under criminal investigation at the time. He's probably the most highly investigated individual on the planet when it comes to these types of claims. And the Illinois Department of Family, the DCFS, determined that the allegation was unfounded many years ago. Why it's coming back up, I don't really know the circumstances, but he certainly denies it, and it's our position that if there was any merit to the claims, certainly charges would have been brought.
What is R. Kelly's
First of
response?
all, the reason why the investigation was unfounded is because Joanne waited so long to tell her mom about the situation. So there was no direct evidence. That doesn't mean he didn't do it, though. As far as the motivation, okay? Number one, I believe his daughter Joanne, her motivation and her intentions are pure. She was ready to tell her story and she wanted to get it out, okay? Also, I feel like it was the kids kind of reclaiming their identity because their identity has been wrapped up in the sins of their father for so long. These kids got bullied in school because of what their father did, okay? So much bad treatment, all right? They had to watch their mom get abused. Please thumbs up this video, okay? Joanne spoke about seeing her mom being depressed and not getting out of bed and having to care for her other siblings. So, number one, I really believe she wanted her story to be out there. But also, two, it was a money grab, okay? So they put it up behind a paywall. It's given because they're still rebuilding their lives from all of this, okay? There was never really any money, which we're going to talk about later, all right? It's really no money in the music industry or whatever. I feel like they used this docuseries to kind of reclaim their identity in their lives. So if it was it definitely was a money grab. Period. If she's basically like, if you want to hear my story, you're gonna have to pay for it. Am I mad about that? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. What I'm mad about is R.Kelly coming out with a book. That's what I'm mad about. Okay? Let's hear some more.
Prosecutors would have loved to put his daughter on the stand to accuse him in the many prosecutions they indicted him for.
So, Jennifer, I want to give the benefit of the doubt to him. I want to give the benefit of the doubt to her as well. But when you look at the clip in that documentary, she's in tears. And I'm just wondering if you or your client think that she's acting.
It's not how it works, Ashley. There is not only incredible data around false allegations, my own personal 25 years of experience, but also scholarly articles. And we know that sometimes people come to believe things based on having distorted and contaminated memories, particularly children, and this can be done by their mothers. I mean, this is not junk science. This stuff exists. I don't know what her motive is. I can assure you is. I don't know what's going through her brain. What I can tell you is that Mr. Kelly, again, denies the allegation. And, you know, the Cook County State's Attorney's Office back in 2019 literally set up a hotline after the Surviving R. Kelly series came out. And anybody could call with an allegation against Mr. Kelly and have their allegation investigated. And what we learned is that people did not always tell the truth when they called. Not every allegation had merit. And so just because someone says it's true and people cry does not necessarily mean it has merit.
Okay.
And I'm not making specific, I don't know what her allegation or her motivations are, but just because someone cries, okay, I don't think you can assume they're telling the truth or that they remember accurately. I don't know what's going through her brain.
I think that's really, really insensitive of her. And the way Joanne was speaking and described the incident, she described the room and things like that and her symptoms after. This girl was hospitalized several times for trying to take her own life, okay? She even started cutting on herself or whatever. I don't agree with her discrediting the victim because her client wants to win an appeal that he's not going to win. And come on, he married Aaliyah when she was 15. Period. He was a predator. At the end of the day, I mean, I just thought it was real distasteful on her part. How are you going to discredit that child? Because let me tell you something. It's one thing for a stranger, and I'm not saying it's right for a stranger to violate you, but when it's your own parent, that robs you of your innocence. It breaks you down to your core, and it just kind of tarnishes your soul and your viewpoint of people for the rest of your life. So I just thought it was really insensitive of her to try to make it seem like, oh, we don't know what the motive is. He denies all allegation. Well, he denied the allegations with Aaliyah. You know, Diddy denied knocking Cassie between the washer and dryer, and then we get the video footage. Okay, now he's coming out apologizing for the dark times when you've been caught in a whole lie. Yeah, she's doing the job she is paid for. I get that, but I feel like she could have worded it a lot differently. I'm sorry. She could have just proclaimed his innocence without disparaging the victim. I'm sorry. There was a better way for her to do that. I mean, because you're... And trust me, I get people lie and manipulate. There's a lot of Diddy clout chasers. I was on the Gray Hair Divas panel on Friday, and this young lady, she comes out. Now she wants to tell her story about going to Diddy parties. And when you get into the article, it's just like, girl, you clout chasing. Because ain't nothing happened to her. But everybody want to tell their Diddy story now. Like, it's ridiculous. Yes, please share this live. Please thumbs up the video. Help me to get into the algorithm. So, since we speaking on SA, oh, I forgot Don Lemon. He had something more to say about the Jay-Z and Beyonce. He doing anything to trend too. I ain't never seen Don Lemon go live this much until he got a YouTube. Hold on 1 second, guys. One second. All right, sorry about that, guys. That was an important call. I had to confirm. Rest in heaven to comedian and actress, radio host Wanda Smith. She sadly passed away. I really didn't know of her too much, but I see that she's trending, and I think AT2 talked about it. All right, so speaking of SA and a father violating a child, CJ So Cool's baby's mom is out here outing him and talking about how he violated their daughter. Please thumbs up this video. And it's just terrible. The things people would do. All right, I'm gonna go to Tasha K. Yeah, so CJ So Cool is a YouTuber, all right? And I believe he likes to have a lot of women around, all right? Well, recently his baby's mom is exposing him for being inappropriate with their child. And shout out to Unwind with Tasha K. All right, here we go.
I wasn't there, and I don't know what she had to go through. So I'm not going to speak about something that's very private. And I know you guys are wanting to know all the details and all that because y'all are not the detectives, y'all are not the police, and that's not your job to do any of that. Like I said, I'm very broken and I'm very... Ever since I got this information, I just asked myself, every day, like, how and why. I didn't know this was happening to my child. How didn't I know? And
All right, so she's saying that the child was inappropriately touched. I'm really tired of people running to social media, especially with serious accusations like this. Why aren't you going to the authorities and CPS so that they can do a proper investigation? I just really feel like it embarrasses the child when parents do that. I mean, she is a minor child. So it just makes me question what her motive is in coming out and exposing him on social media. Like, because if you go to the law, he'll get exposed anyway. All right. Well, CJ So Cool, on the tail end of these allegations, was at church. And yes, turn to the Lord, okay?
He's so blown away by the blessings of God. Even though materially he has nothing, he's so blown away by the goodness of God in this moment that it just overflows out of him. And he goes on and on and on and on and on, comma, 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 comma. We're going on until we get to the full stop. And he's talking about spiritual blessings that are in the heavenly places in our lives. You know, we often we'll ask people like, how are you doing? People say, I'm doing pretty good under the circumstances. And here Paul is going to challenge us to make us like stand back and maybe ask, why are we living under the circumstances? Because our actual circumstances in the heavenly places are amazing. And the more you understand them and experience them, the more it lifts you to rise above your current circumstances.
So, he posted, he said, and shout out to CC Bad BBW, love her channel. He posted, first time in church in 20 years. Why? Why all of a sudden you going to church? They do anything for clout. They do anything for clout. There's something ain't clean in the water with this situation, and I feel bad because the child, her situation is being exploited, if this is true, by her parents or whatever. And I just really feel like, especially with matters that concern children, they do not belong. The story does not belong on the internet. That is not like for the mother. Because even Joanne Kelly said this in the documentary. The reason why Drea never said anything about what happened to her daughter or whatever is because it wasn't her story to tell. And I feel the same way in this situation. Especially that you have a minor child involved. It's not your story to tell. Like, the only place you need to tell is the police and CPS or Child Protective Services, whatever they call it in your area. Y'all let me know if y'all agree, because I don't like, something is not right about the situation. And then for him to go live in church, I don't know. These fake celebs be trying to play in our face, okay? And BMB says, breaching the privacy of any child is wrong. They have a long life to live with the public disclosure. Right. And so now people are always going to attach her to this. Yes. Hospital and police first. Thumbs up this video. Yeah. They all, Piers Morgan, Bay, Don Lemon, they all trying to compete with our little old YouTubers. Oh, now they figuring out, oh, let me go to YouTube. And it gets on my nerves because it's the smaller content creators like me and Couture Bay and AT2 and Jovi Beauty. Like, we grind it from the ground to build our channels, and they could just come on here because they already got millions to follow them and blow up the internet. Hey, grown woman. No worries. Couture Bay is giving a nasty custody battle. Girl, and let me tell you, unfortunately, when you in custody battles, people make terrible allegations against each other. It's just like in a divorce. Especially if they want to garner full custody. Yes. How many cases have we seen where women were fabricating abuse allegations just so they can alienate the father out of the child's out of the child's life, because they just butthurt because they don't want to be with them. So something ain't clean in the water with this, and for her to come forward, I don't even believe her tears. And I hate to say it, because the person that is getting the person that she needs to be giving that attention to is her child. But yet she wants to go viral on the internet and expose him. It's giving bitter baby mama. It's giving she mad because he don't want to be with her. And I believe he likes to keep a harem of women. So you know how he get down. I don't know, Knotty Crew. That's where I'm going to leave that story. I feel bad for the child in the situation, just like I feel bad for Junior with Krishan and Blueface and how they use that poor baby and they not really caring for him properly. I feel bad for the child because now her business is out here without her permission. She may not have wanted this to be out. Something not clean in the water. Something not clean in the water. All right, which leads me to my next story. Gucci Third Leg, which I believe he's probably a YouTuber too, social media personality. He's out here being exposed everywhere. And shout out to Tasha K, because he went on her show for an interview, right? And just to give you a little background of the type of dude. Right. Child. Just to give you a little background on what type of dude we about to talk about, or predator we about to talk about, allegedly. I'm going to give you a clip of Tasha K's interview. All right. Just so you know what we dealing with. Oh, and OnlyFans. They on OnlyFans. Yep. He's being exposed for spreading the Hercules. That's what we gonna call it. You know, the thing Jonathan Odie sued the diddler for. Let's get into it. Here we go.
Long-term goals for you? Like, do you plan on having a wife and getting married and just having kids one day and being regular, or?
I could never be regular for real. Like, my lifestyle's not regular. Like, my granddad had 7 wives, had 14 kids. I'm trying to have about 8 wives. Okay. I'm probably gonna go to Nigeria to marry because I can't get 8 wives here in America. Okay. I already have about 7, but all 7 of the girls had to tattoo my name first.
What?
You probably think I'm lying. I'm gonna show you right now.
Do they do content with you, or are they not allowed to do that type of work with you?
Actually, probably only 3 do content, but most of my girlfriends actually don't do content.
Now, is that a requirement? I'm surprised you don't keep them hidden.
It's hard for me to keep them hidden. Like, I already be trying to keep them hidden, but it's like, people even know my name now. My name is Oluwatosin, so it's like, imagine seeing a girl with a Oluwatosin tatted on her forehead. It's really like that.
Now, that sounds like a cult. You gonna require that your wives do that too?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Why don't sometimes
Okay. And I agree with Tasha. It sounds like a cult. It sounds like that Nexium cult where they branded the women. And at the same time, these men that think like this, Gucci third leg, Diddy, okay? They want to be able to sleep with whoever they want, how many they want, but the women are required to stay loyal to their dirty peen behinds, okay? You get to expose me to all type of STIs and things like that. And I'm supposed to be sitting pretty and being alright with it. Okay, so I just wanted to give you a little background, but he sound nasty. He sound like he a dirty peen. He sound community penis. Okay? Alright. So one of the girlfriends, I guess she's an ex, came out and exposed his behind. Okay? And I felt so bad for this girl. Hold on. What the heck is happening? What happened to Instagram? Yeah, so she came out, I think she came out and exposed. Oh my God, something happened to Instagram, y'all. She came out and exposed him for giving her HPSV, which is the herp, okay? And said that he is spreading it to other women. I don't know what the heck happened. He is spreading it all around to other women, okay? And I just want to have a real conversation with these young people. When people show you who they are, believe them. And if this man is telling you to your face that he has this many women laying around, HSV2, thank you, Couture Bay, laying around and stuff like that, protect yourself. Like, that's what condoms are for. But it's a lot of things that the condoms won't protect you from. On some real, like, if they got an outbreak or something, or whatever. But I just really think we need to talk to our little girls, because this girl was really, really hurt when she was talking about the situation. And she was only 19 years old, okay? And that's like young. She has to go through the rest of her life disclosing to all her partners what she has. It's sad, okay? Men in the industry do this all the time too. I take you to Usher when he had those lawsuits that he had to settle. Not only with men, but women. For spreading the hype. Okay? Like, unless you go and get tested together and you see the results physically, you are to assume everybody is infected. I mean, that's just how I think. Okay? That is how I think. This is crazy. This is crazy. My Instagram is not working. Thank you. Thank you, Bree. All right, shout out to Best Legos. All right, so Gucci third leg dragged for sharing herbs. OnlyFans star Oluwatosin Tubo, known by stage name Gucci third name, has come under fire after being accused of spreading herbs throughout the adult entertainment industry since 2021. This is just crazy. I mean, he's on OnlyFans. The accusation was made public by Danae Davis, an adult performer known as the Danae Davis on social media, who shared a video blasting Tubo for allegedly giving her the STI. In her video, Davis claimed Tubo has been recklessly spreading the herp among other performers for years. Davis accused him of knowingly exposing others to the virus, potentially putting countless individuals at risk within the industry. In an interview, Tubo, the Nigerian national, boasted about having slept with 3,000 people. The allegations have sparked a strong reaction on social media, with many calling for more accountability in the adult industry. Tubo has yet to publicly respond to the accusations, but the controversy continues to grow as more people in the industry voice concern over health and safety. Here it is.
It's devastating to have to come on here and share that whenever I was 19 years old, Gucci third leg burned me with HSV2. And he told me that he was going to send me his test results. And he never did. And it saddens me to hear that he's done this to so many girls. And there's girls with so many similar stories to me. And they're so young as well. He's preying on the young. He's preying on the new. And I'm so sorry for not saying this 7 months ago. I was scared. And I was making so much money. I can't keep beating around the bush because you guys think I'm lying. And he can't ruin anybody else's life. I didn't know what he was known for. I didn't know who he was. I didn't do my research. And it is my fault.
Okay, that girl sounds heartbroken, all right? And he needs to be locked up because basically he's using his peen as a weapon. And I know people that knowingly spread the houses in Virginia, okay? They can go to jail for that. Okay? I remember, I'm showing my age now, Ricky Lake show. She had a woman on there and she got diagnosed with the houses in Virginia and she was knowingly spreading around. She had she was so angry at the person that gave it to her. Because back then, houses in Virginia, it was like a death sentence. It wasn't as advanced now or whatever with all the treatments that they have and things like that. Yeah, there are people out here that have that personality where they're upset that someone infected them. So their goal, and that woman said it on the Ricky Lake show. Oh, my goal is to infect as many people. I'm going to take everybody out with me. There's people that think like that. So that being said, we need to start having conversations with our young girls, our youth, even the boys. Okay? Because girls are spreading stuff too. Wrap it up. Okay? Unless you go to the doctor together, get them test results so I can see what I'm looking at or whatever. What I could possibly be exposed to. Wrap it up. Assume everybody has something. That's what I teach my daughters. Assume everybody has something. Always protect yourself. Hell, nowadays you need to do it both ways. You need to use the female condom and the male condom. Shit, you might as well. Shit. All these new STIs out here, it's scary. I hope he gets criminally prosecuted. This is disgusting what he's doing. Disgusting. Couture Bay, thank you so much for giving me that article. It looks like Instagram, yeah. Instagram shut down. All right. I'll give that a few. Maybe it will fix itself. Let me go over. Let me switch topics.
5-year-old daughter.
Let's get into the music industry, okay? The music industry is bankrupt, okay? You do not... There's no money in it, okay? And people think when they get with these big labels that they're gonna end up being so rich. And when in all actuality, the label is just really giving these artists a line of credit. You're lucky if you get an advance in the beginning of it, but usually you end up owing the label on the tail end of that. You heard Danity Kane talk about it. Aubrey O'Day. But she worked for free basically for those years that she was with the band. All right. The importance of negotiating contracts and things like that. I said it a long time ago. You don't even need these big labels anymore. Because you could do it all as an independent artist. You just need to do your homework and things like that and own everything outright. But basically what the label does is they pay for all these music videos with fake money and rented chains and rented cars and things like that to give the illusion that all of these artists are rich and have all this money. And that is just really not the case. All right. Here, for instance, you notice a lot of artists are touring. You notice because that's where the money is, touring, so that they can sell merch and things like that, right? Also, you see a lot of artists selling their catalogs and things like that. You see the layoffs from Atlantic Records and things like that. That's because the music industry is bankrupt. It's bankrupt. That's why you're seeing a lot of musicians turning to brand ambassadorship and things like that. Like Cardi B. All right, she's got a lot of brands that she's associated with. But what is really the motivation for the artists nowadays to continue to create music? Because there's no money in streaming, really. Back in the day when it was actual physical, like albums and tapes and stuff like that, yeah, all the big labels have robbed the industry and have robbed the artists, okay? And so that's why it's important to not only rely on music, all right? You have to have multiple streams of income or whatever. But these artists are broke. Here we go. I got some commentary.
I'm really starting to think that the music industry and the celebs that are in it have been fooling us all this time. I do not think any of them have money at all. I mean, cash poor type shit. And there's a good reason for that. People like Gucci and Christian Dior and Louis Vuitton, they are the Rolex and the Bentleys of the fashion industry. So they do not need a celebrity to showcase their latest design to sell it. They don't. So when you see these rappers and singers and stuff in the music industry showing their clothes and their houses and all that stuff, I really think they're getting all that stuff on credit. And the music industry is like, you work for me, we give you all these gifts. Why do you think so many people are in some real fucked up contracts right now? And also, in our community, we always talk about if we had millions of dollars, how we would buy up the block, how we would help our people and stuff. And you don't see them doing that, and people think it's because they're selfish. No, I think it's because they are cash poor and they really cannot help you. It brings me to this. The music industry is very successful in creating images and to demeaning us in every single way, and they profit and make lots of money off of that, and we buy into that every time we support them. To us, it's just entertainment, but it really is a real life plan. Now, why would little old me feel this way? Because none of it makes sense. I'm telling you, they are a walking billboard for companies to get black dollars. And why? Because nobody in the entire world spends like black people. No matter how broke we are, no matter if the rent needs to get paid, nothing matters when it comes to us getting them dollars to look good and to look like we also have the celebrity lifestyle. Like, it's all a plan, all of it. It's so you can be broke, so they can get the cash from you that they're not getting. Now, I know that may sound crazy, but I was thinking about that last night. I'm like, something just is not right here. And then when you think of C-list and D-list rappers and stuff like that, it's not that their music is trash. They try to make it seem like, oh, they just aren't relevant anymore. No, the talent is still there and always have been. The problem is if a brand isn't able to use them to further push whatever agenda they got going on, none of us black folks is going to want to buy into whatever that rapper or whoever, whatever they're selling. If they cannot use you, they don't want you. And I think that time tells us, even with the government, if they cannot use you, you do not have nothing to give them at all, you serve them no purpose. So once again, these companies are the Bentley and Rolexes of the entertainment world and the fashion world and all of the government. They do not need no advertisement. So all this false narrative of, oh, they're just advertising this and they give celebrities free stuff here and now, they know they're giving them fucking free shit all the time because they're not actually physically paying them with cash. They're getting our black dollars. Let that sit. So in short,
let that sit. Let that sit. That's facts, okay? And a lot of it is a facade, okay? Just like we find out Diddy is really not the billionaire that he proclaimed to be. He was nothing more than a glorified brand ambassador, okay? Like Tory Lanez, although he's locked up, he was smart enough to make copies of his albums into NFTs. And I think that's why a lot of reason why they came for him. Because same thing with Nipsey Hussle. He knew the importance of being independent, owning your masters, owning your publishing, and they knew they can do it on your own. And nowadays, you don't need these big labels. You just need to create a brand for yourself that's marketable so that it'll attract other brands so that they'll want you to market their stuff. Like, that's where the money is at, okay? But most of these musicians are out here broke. TLC, broke, okay? They had the whole Clive Davis up to get their money. Because, they had made $70 million. They only got like $50,000 a piece. I would have been mad too. Joe Budden spoke on it recently. Here we go. Don't always agree with him, but I agree with him here.
If you're not getting it touring, or if you're not getting it through other means, this music shit is a rap. I'm saying all of the musicians are broke. Relative to what you bring in.
Now, I do think that there is plenty of ways to make money as independents. Low overhead. It's not expensive to make these albums. You're making them at home or wherever, and you're building a reasonable fan base, and you're selling physical and merch. Not everyone is broke, but in terms of like the superstar thing, I agree with you.
But like you said, so what you're bringing in, what you getting,
and my conversation now is not really about independent acts.
Yeah, okay.
My conversation is about what's going on in the majors. They tricking y'all with the words in these contracts. They tricking y'all into thinking that y'all are real partners. They tricking y'all with the, hey, you own your stuff. The recent layoffs tell me that. You don't see all these people getting laid off?
All over.
They laid off like 40%, right?
Everywhere.
Media too.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And look, and to me, based on what you're saying, that went to our AR conversation. The second that we can have 6 people instead of 60, y'all gone.
Gone.
If you're not getting it.
Period. You gone. You gone. And I think people need to pay attention. So, like, a lot of, when you see these celebs with all this fancy stuff, a lot of companies gift them those things because of their platforms, and they want them, like, okay, if Beyonce wears it, then everybody will run out and buy it. It's a marketing tactic. Master P even spoke, he's been speaking on this for years.
And I know people might get mad and trip, but I'm out of the music industry because ain't no money in the music industry. And I know people might get mad and trip, but I'm just saying, y'all know it's a lot of things that we used to do. It ain't no money, and it done tapped out. They trying to figure out how to make money off of streams. When Snoop put a post up, say, man, I sold 1 billion streams. I only made this little money. Where the millions at? We knew where our money from because we had tangible goods. And that's why I got into the product game. We could actually have tangible goods. I told people all the time, product outweighs talent. Product gonna be around when we not here. Michael Jordan is still successful because of the shoes, not because him shooting balls into the hoop. That been over.
That been over. It's facts. It's facts. Okay. He got Master P got the rap snacks and things like that. That's why you don't see a lot of these artists touring, because a lot of the times it's not even worth it. They're lucky, a lot of them, if they break even on tours. That's why you see a lot of artists canceling shows and stuff like that, because number one, people in this economy, people aren't spending money like they used to, so they're not trying to spend $1,500 on a concert ticket. It just doesn't make sense, right? Like I think like Ice Spice, for instance. Her album's trash. You hear it all over the place. It's trash. Or whatever. But she made like a TikTok hit and it went crazy. But I think she is going to end up being a brand ambassador more than anything. Because if you're not touring, you're not really getting any real bread. It's the label fronting everything. And then you're going to end up owing the label. It's a trap. Chloe Bailey also spoke on it. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, she's been on 2 tours. But she's going to have to keep touring if she wants to see any money. That's not the clip I'm looking for. Yeah, but I think her first week's album sale, it was something like 20,000.
Tweets today that hurt my feelings, talking about how boring of an individual I am. And I was like,
that's not it. So that's why you see all these celebrities trying to get with these different brands.
The music industry works dealing with funding.
Mm-hmm. The good thing is that even though you do lose money in the music business, you get a point from everything that comes from the music you're making. So it's like almost the music is almost like the ad. You know what I mean? So it's a business, and sometimes it's sad to think of it that way, but that's why tours go big and everything. That's where you make your money and the big brand deals. So that's like a fact that not too many people know. They think it's like this huge high life thing, and yes, you might get a big lump sum of money in the beginning, or you might have a huge recording budget and you think the label's paying for it, but at the end of the day, you're paying for it. It's coming out of you. So whatever you made from that album, you get that after whatever has been paid off. So it's like a loan.
Right.
That is a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it.
Creative artist, because it's like so much crazy business that goes into it.
So I'm learning, especially now as a solo artist, I have to have multiple hats. Me as my creative, which is where I want to spend most of my time, but then I also have to put like on my business mind hat, because if you don't, you could get screwed over.
Chloe breaks down how the music.
I love it. Okay, so it tells me she understands the inner makings of the music industry, and it's designed to keep the artist poor at the end of the day. And so if you do not create other streams of revenue outside of that, if you do not create a brand for yourself, you're going to end up flatlining. You're going to end up broke. And that's why you see a lot of these artists go away, because they really, really don't have money. It's just the label's job to make it seem and create this illusion like they have money, but it's very few, like, top tier celebs that are making money in the music industry at this point. All right. So like that's what like the Bow Wows and stuff like that. You don't see them really making music and things like that. But I just thought it was interesting. I was like, yeah, that's why you see all of these tours all of a sudden. Like this past summer, I seen like all my favorite artists. Most of them. Okay? Because they need the money. They need the money. But it's important to handle your business. It's important to watch the contracts that you get involved with. Because it's a matter of like percentages and things like that. You can negotiate those things. But also, I give you the example of Fetty Wap. A lot of these artists are financially illiterate and they don't know how to manage money. And they just blow money on unnecessary things. And then support the whole entourage too. Like, that's where that's where you go wrong. That's where you go wrong. I know Fetty Wap, he like flew his whole family out to Cali for a vacation, and so they were going around the hotel rooms and things like that, and they couldn't accommodate his family. This fool decides to buy a whole house. Just throwing money away. All right? But he ultimately bankrupted himself, and so he turned to trafficking of rugs, and that's why he's in prison now. But a lot of them are financially illiterate. A lot of them are. And they don't know how to even manage their money. And it's, rather than go out and buy all these chains, sit down with a financial advisor. Hell, take classes and learn it yourself so you don't have to pay the next guy to manage your finances. I know I saw a clipping of Genuine. And they asked him, like, how you managed to hang on to your money that you made. And he said, I don't have no manager. I don't have no financial advisor. I do all those things myself. And see, people get big in their lifestyle and their expenses become enormous. But what they're not thinking about is the future, that eventually it could come a point in time where you can't tour anymore to make that money. So you got to think long term and invest properly. I know Nas was broke in the beginning, but he learned how to invest his money. He invested in Doorbell, and he's still good. He's still good. Yeah, Instagram is playing me the F out, okay? Because the other story I wanted to get into was Tia Kemp. I'll probably have to come back later. Something's going on with Instagram. It won't load up. Let me see if I can find it on here. Let me go to Neighborhood Talk. It won't load up my saved stories. So Tia Kemp, she sat down with Tasha K this past weekend, and she dropped some tea. Like Diddy, Rick Ross really want to see Diddy go to jail so that he could buy up his property and things like that. And she talked about his relationships with Keisha Kayor and his other baby mamas, okay? And so the baby mama came out with a clipping saying, Tia, instead of speaking on my business, you need to be at the hospital with your son. And she dropped a news story and it was talking about a drive-by shooting, and it was about Tia's son. Here we go. And Tasha K came out to debunk it.
in that shooting. Let's go now to Local 10 News reporter Christina Vasquez. She's live right now at that scene with the very latest. What can you tell us, Christina?
At this hour, Miami police are saying their preliminary information is that a delivery driver in his 60s actually caught in the crosshairs of a drive-by shooting. So all of this unfolding this morning, where I'm joining you live outside of the You Save Fish and Chicken. There's also a smoke shop here. We're at the intersection of Northwest 69th Street and Northwest 7th. But now that you have that orientation, where you see the crime scene technicians right now, Street there on Northwest 69th Street. Let's now go to ground video that Local 10 photojournalist Myron Williams shot when we arrived here earlier this morning. And you are going to see that delivery truck. So according...
Okay, so there was a drive-by shooting, okay? And I thought that was kind of... Like, I wouldn't have put... Like, clap back at Tia, but, like, why... put that out there? And then Tasha K came back and she clapped back and she said, lies. Tia Kemp has been with her son the whole time. Keep her family in your prayers. But he is fine and recovering. All right. Well, they caught some footage of Tia at the hospital and she was going off. Granted, tensions are high. Because nobody wants to see their child in that position. I don't care who you are. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. All right. Shout out to the Neighborhood Talks for all of this. Here we go. This is just sad. All right, so this is definitely unfortunate. Prayers up to her and her family, Tia Kemp and her family. The last thing they need to do is be arguing. Oh, okay. She like big dudes, Tia. She got a type. She got a type. Okay? And when she said fat, I'm like, is that Rick Ross? No, this is another kid. So prayers up to her and her family. I hope everything works out okay for them. But emotions are on an all-time high. And a lot of times people be looking to blame somebody and they always turn to, the people's closest to them. And at the end of the day, the boy is fighting for his life, and hopefully he can recover and make it out okay. And then the last story I'm going to get into, because I was going to do Cardi B, but it's not loading up. I want to get into Bow Wow speaking on the Diddy situation, which I was kind of waiting for him to speak on this because Bow Wow was real hurt when Diddy started dating, let me see, Joy Chavez. He did not like that. Let me see if I can pull up the clip. Let me see. Here we go.
I just wonder, is there a phone call to you first? Like, hey, are you cool with this situation? Do they let you know before we see it in the blog world that Shia's mom's hanging out with Diddy?
No, I wanted to kill him.
Are you serious? Wait a minute.
I was gonna be like exclusive.
You know, as far as Joy's concerned, like with me and her, like we haven't really been in that space probably in like 13 years. Like really, that's a homegirl, my daughter's mom. So it's always gonna be respect. But like, don't think that I didn't like put a call in and talk to her about what the hell was going on. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, and even me and Dude, we spoke about it too. You know what I mean? So that's a conversation me and him had. I ain't gonna share that, but it was a good little hour and 15 minute conversation on FaceTime. So I look at it like, I don't know, man. I just look at things differently. You know what I'm saying? And if Joy was sitting here right now, she'll tell y'all straight up, like, he don't pay my bills. He ain't dead. But it's still a line of respect. You know what I'm saying? That's there. So, like I said, amongst us, that's something that we spoke about in private. We dealt with it, and we moved on from it. And I heard his piece.
Now Bow Wow's been in the game a long time, so he know what the diddler be up to. Okay, here we go. Shout out to the Jasmine brand.
He was on Diddy's boat and all that.
Nah, I mean she knew better. You know what I mean?
Before we go all the way there.
Nah, because it for me it's more of a man thing. You know what I'm saying? Like me and her, we had our discussion about that. Trust me, that might have been the last time.
What about the video? That was cool.
Nah, I wouldn't even like all of that shit. Really didn't hit like that. Like it took me because BT was with me. It took me like a couple, because I don't give a fuck type of person. Like no shit bothered me.
It was another one. It was another one because he was like, Diddy, you was wrong. You was wrong. You was wrong. You was wrong. Well, anyway, moving on. He has spoken out about Diddy being arrested. So let's hear what he has to say. Oh, please thumbs up this video. This is the last story we're going to get into, and I'm going to close out the show because I got to figure out what's going on with my Instagram. Okay, here we go.
Just never thought I'd see it like this. Like, nah. He's like the gatekeeper to the game. To the point to where, what weekend just passed? Like, BT Award weekend, it didn't, like the past two, they just didn't feel right. Because there was no motion, there was no parties. There was nowhere to go. Like,
let's be very specific between parties and freak-offs.
No, the industry, like the parties that we attend. Like, there's me, the Terrences,
I left before one. I never stayed. I've only been to 2 parties and I've never seen a freak off.
Yeah, but it shows, and once again, I'm separated, right? I'm talking about him as the artist, the person, right? How monumental and how important he was to the culture. Because I said, Jermaine, there's no parties. Every year, dude had the fest, and you feel it. It's like a hole. It's like, damn, we ain't going. He was just such a gatekeeper for the liquor in the clubs, he was everything hip hop. You know what I mean? So for that to die out, it's like you just would have never thought. And especially when you look at somebody as like somebody you study, somebody you idolize, somebody who you looked at like, yo, when it comes to hustle, when it comes to business, and how to run your shit, it's like he was the guy that every young hustler looked up to and wanted to either be like or wanted to, man, I'm gonna pass this nigga. Like I want to pass this nigga. Like he just step your hustle game up. You know what I mean? So it's sad and it's messed up that, we gotta witness this in this time, but it's fucked up.
And his kids, I mean, you gotta sympathize with them too.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
And I hear you, Couture Bay, saying nobody will eat. Yeah, we know, because he's going to take it off for himself. Like, the artist's not eating either. He's just really good at creating an illusion. Like, everything is so grandiose by gifting you all these things like cars and things like that. And it's all an illusion. right? Because ultimately he's the only one that's going to make the money, all right? That's how he did all of these artists through the years. And the artists need to take accountability too, because read your contracts. Read your contracts. All right. So I'm gonna close the show because Young Chopper, he was a member of the band. With Freddie P, Babs, and all, and Sarah and things like that. He was a member of the band. Hold on. Let me see. He has spoken out. They also call him Young City. All right. Chopper was arrested. I don't know if he's still incarcerated, but he was arrested for ex trafficking as well. Okay. All right. So he decided to speak out and give his thoughts on Diddy and his experience with the band. All right. Now, for those of you who don't know, Chopper was the one that had the bad skin. Let me see if I can get a picture up here for y'all. Please thumbs up the video. He was the one that had the bad skin. This is a Young Chopper. Let me put the band. Some mess came up, y'all. I'm like, oh, that ain't no. Here we go. He the one that needed some proactive. They got him some proactive, and his skin cleared up by the end. Well, he was the one band member after Diddy fired all of them. He was the one band member that ended up with a deal. Okay, and Diddy basically wanted to open up Bad Boy South with him being the artist or whatever. So he's speaking out on how he feels about what happened to Diddy. Please thumbs up this video. Shout out to Rari Reports for this footage. Here we go.
Somebody think about it like this here. All the money he took from Craig Mack, Black Rob, G Dep, the band, Vanity Kane, Day 26, Biggie, all the money he took from Loon, Mace. You took food out people cheering him. Craig Mack died. Black Rob died. Sean's situation. That man got to live in Belize. He got a whole new accent now. You dig? That man had to change his whole demographic because it didn't. Enough is enough, bruh. Wine was out, this Young City, uptown finest, you dig? And I'm rocking with Video Wayne. Believe that.
What's in the media right now is this Puffy situation. Can we talk about it?
Yeah, come on. Let's go.
Any communication with him? Anything that you make?
I talked to Harvey, and I don't think he went that out there publicly.
Harvey, you've been quiet. You got a lawsuit.
So I'm not gonna speak on it, but yeah, I talked to his people. He keeping his head up in there. You did, and it's a bittersweet situation, you know, when it comes down to me, because I don't want to see no man back there, because I know how I felt being back there not so long ago. But on the other end, you know, he kind of, I hate to say this here, but I gotta keep it G. You know, he's over.
But see, that's a part of it, Couture Bay. I see what you're saying about the lawyers, and I wish they would have, because I remember when Aubrey went on the radio and they asked Danny DeCane, like, what advice would you give artists coming into the game? And Aubrey was loud and proud, like, make sure you have your own legal representation to cut through the red tape and to represent yourself and to read through all those legalities. Even Joe Budden's here, they get you with the words and things like that, and they prey on the fact that They know you have the lack of education and things like that. And I feel like Diddy really preyed on people. That's why he went and got people from the hood, because he knew he could play on their intelligence. He knew they wouldn't read through the contracts and things like that, because they didn't know any better. These are people from the hood, and they just looking at just them being able to be even close to Diddy as an honor. You know what I mean? And they're not looking at how he really taking you for granted or whatever. So yeah, I wish they would have had their own lawyers and their own representation. But you know better, you do better, Bree, at this point. You know, it happened. But this is my thing about the band. It had been out there already how Diddy did his artists over and over again. You got the Locks. You got Total. Okay? Total never really spoke out loud about it, but the Locks was very loud about it. What makes you think he would do any different? Like, when people show you who they are, believe them. And judging by the conditions that they had to endure, like, I would have been out of there. There's no way. Wanting fame over being in charge of your brand happens in all sectors of music. It does. It does.
Came down to, you know, what I deserved and what I earned, and the stuff I wrote behind the scenes that he sold a lot of records for, and I didn't get compensated for nothing. You dig? And courtesy of me being under 18 and signing that Bad Boy deal on the Making the Band show, you heard me? He kind of used that against me and said that he'll get me prosecuted. Courtesy of me being underage, you know, I'm Making the Band, bro. You know, you have to be 18 and old. And on that show.
And this is my thing. How are you going to prosecute me for you allowing me to be on the show underage? The manipulation. But him being young, he ain't know no better. And he probably ain't had no folk around him that can advise him of better. Right. His mom.
16. So basically, when I was trying to get my compensation, my royalties and everything, he basically was like, you ain't belong on the show anyway. So I'll just let you go, because I wanted to get let go. So I'll let you go, and we're going to let bygones be bygones. That's down bad. That's down bad. If I wasn't such a hustler, you heard me, how would I have been able to feed my family with some shit like that, like talking about it? Sometimes.
So right at that point when you know, once that situation is born, you kind of pretty much was on your own?
Yeah, I mean, after Katrina, I was on my own. Before Katrina, I was at the VMAs, Video Music Awards in Miami with Puffy. You heard me? And before Katrina happened, I had to go home. You know, my baby mama was pregnant. That shit changed my whole life, because when the hurricane hit and Diddy called me back. He told me to get back on the road. And I told him, no, I'm not getting back on the road. My people here. So I had to handle my business. I made a choice. My career or my family. And I thought like this here. If I was to die today or tomorrow, bro.
Good point, Couture Bay. Yes. That's the other issue. Couture Bay said, she said, you have to go to the right lawyers. It costs $250 an hour for a contract lawyer and $300 an hour for an entertainment lawyer. That's a lot of them don't even have the money to hire a lawyer. But simple reading, though, comprehension. But a lot of them don't even have those skills, Couture Bay. Thank you for those facts.
Or will my people be there representing me?
Reaching your weight.
Sorry, it's a commercial.
And courtesy of that, that's how me and the Bad Boy South situation dismantled.
From that point, did it ever mend itself?
Yeah, he ended up hitting me later and apologizing after the after effect, you know. But it was a little too late for that. Because when I called Diddy, rap, and, you know, I live back there in Michigan. So I had the gold El Camino. Ask anybody back then. I had the gold El Camino. I had the blue Ferrari, Medina 360. I had buku old schools and all this here. But my stupid ass, I'm young. You heard me? So I'm not really thinking in my mind intelligently that these are gifts that I'm getting, Chop. He's gifting you. I'm not thinking as an intelligent man that I am not, that I need to put things in my name. They was just write-offs from the Bad Boy Company. So after when Katrina happened, and I'm like, say, bro, I need to get my cars back and this and that back. And he was like, oh no, you said you ain't want to come on the road no more. You said you ain't want to do this here with me no more. So I'm gonna say no. And that fucked me up. I damn near wanted to kill that nigga. Honestly, I wanted to kill that nigga. Because he was playing with people's lives. Playing Monopoly with a nigga life. You dig? And having the power to control the nigga. That's why I vowed to myself.
Yes, I'm glad he taking accountability too. That's one thing a lot of them don't do. They don't take accountability for their decision making in the process. Hey Jews, for those of you who are just joining, this is Young Chopper, aka Young City. He was a member of the band with Dylon, Freddie P, Sarah, and Baps from Brooklyn, and Neff or Ness, like Loch Ness Monster. He was also a member, and they were a talented group, all right. And Babs, Chopper, Freddie P, and Ness, they were all the rappers. Then you had Sarah, she was like the R&B, and then you had Dylon, he was like the reggae hip hop artist and things like that. And it was an ensemble. But I'm just looking like when I'm watching the show, even with Danny the King, when you have big groups like that, you have to think they have to divide all those expenses, right? And any money they make, it has to be divided all over all those people. So like unless they were partnering with brands, because we went over this, right? And things like that, and doing things to further their career and make money outside of the music, they were going to be a cash poor group. Oh, yes. Remember Ness said they didn't even want to hear his attorney speak about, and they need separate counsel. Underrated group. Definitely underrated. Hey, James. Definitely an underrated group. But they were very, very talented. Now, Ness, he also went on to work on the Love album because he been real tight-lipped. He went to work on the Love album, and you'll hear Chopper speak on that because he's a writer. That's what Diddy do. He take other people art and make it his own.
That I never in my life let a man control me or listen to a man's ways. Pause. Listen to a man's ways and his dictatorship of how it should go with my career. That's why the bass saved my life, bro. For real.
Say, bro, could you say that anybody else that was in the band situation was kind of similar to yours?
Yeah, everybody. I mean, but they kind of had a shorter end of the stick than me because I ended up having a deal afterwards. They never got a deal after. Fred said, Ness wanted to rock with Diddy. He ended up rocking with Diddy later and wrote on the Last Train to Paris. Ness was always a great songwriter. So Ness and Diddy always had a relationship, you understand, because Ness was ghostwriting. Babs said, Sarah, I don't know what's down with Sarah. Dylon always said, Dylon said, fuck everything. Honestly, a lot of people.
I believe Sarah would have ended up in the freak offs if it wasn't for her husband. That's why he ain't mess with her, because her husband was he was a narcissist himself. So one narcissist recognized another. He was batshit crazy and he was mad possessive over Sarah or whatever.
Yeah, a lot of people be jolting and everything, but Dylon was the smartest one, bro, because Dylon, from the TV show to after that, you heard me, he always said, fuck you. And to be honest with you, it was well worth it. Because when we found out later, you understand how much that man took from us, $30 million. Couldn't give us $1 million apiece, bro. Ain't that costly? At least $30 million.
Say, what was it that Dylon saw early on that made him feel like that?
Honestly, from talking to Dylon, he told me, he's like, Chop, I didn't feel like it was worth it. So I just didn't, he said, bro, it's a certain amount of time of putting in work. Then it's another situation to getting what you deserve. He said he felt like we never got our chance to get the respect that we deserve from putting in work. And that makes sense. It didn't add up. You heard me? And we so caught up in the money and the fame that we not really understanding we can puppet it. You dig? We wasn't getting what we deserved. He was just squeezing the blood out of the beak. He was squeezing us until he couldn't squeeze us no more. Just luckily, I'm from a different cloth. You dig? So I was able to survive differently. Just from the mentality. I grew up rough. I wasn't thinking in my mind, bro, that I was getting fucked over and controlled and all this here. I'm just happy I'm not sleeping on the floor on Saturday.
So it looks like Chopper, he had created a lane for himself. If you look at this, he created a whole lane for himself, life after the band college tour. So he started creating his own tours, his own lane. You got to be innovative.
On Simon Valley, on Barone. So I'm just happy I'm not living that life. Look how it all worked, brother. At the end of the day, all the things around did to people. Look how it turned back on them. And when it rains, it pours. You heard me? And it's raining on them real bad. Maybe it's time for everybody that got fucked over to rise like the Phoenix. And if they don't realize that, then them too. Because one thing about me, son, I'm gonna rise like the Phoenix.
The news, like the whole thing, like when you first started getting a wind of it, what was going through your mind and how did you feel about it?
I mean, I've been to buku parties. You dig? As a youngster, I've witnessed things that fucked me up. You dig? I never experienced it. I would avoid somebody, but I've witnessed things just being around. It's a double-edged sword, Wayne, bro. And I'm gonna say it like this here.
Say, Chop.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna cut you off. Were you in some of those parties at underage when you was 16?
Yes.
Have you ever been approached? Have you ever been approached in any of those parties to get involved?
No. Fuck no. No indeed. But at the end of the day,
Look. Why when people ask, like, were you approached, people... Right? Because he was underage. I see a theme. Diddy love to have underage people at his parties? Usher, Justin Bieber, and now you have Chopper. Thumbs up this video. Is he testifying? Can he testify? I believe he is incarcerated, y'all. Because I did this story. He was arrested on ex-trafficking charges. And I never heard anything else about it.
You think I can't sit up here and say I didn't see shit? I'd be lying. What I seen, I won't see. Was I a part of anything? No, indeed. I was too young, bro. I wasn't. I wasn't.
Now
really
you was too young.
What was actually happening? And every time, like, if I go to the parties in Hollywood and all these places, they'll shut me out of it. I really don't want to stay too.
Look. With Usher, I can say he was too young. 13, 14. He didn't know how to process that. He probably never been exposed to, certain things that are actual or whatever. Chopper was a little older. But the way he acted on the show, he was, like, immature. I don't know. I think he's just trying to distance himself.
Because I believe this here. I'm not really the type of person that just throw people out there. I don't like snitching. I don't like bitter people either. So I'm not saying this in no bitter manner. You understand? But I will say, I've seen things. I love doing this here, Wayne. I love being a rapper. I love cutting up, dropping project after project. I love shooting videos. I'm damn near afraid and it's honest, I'm damn near afraid to go back mainstream because I know what it come with. The higher you go, the more you experience things, bro. And it's wild. wild to me. Wayne ain't lying though. And I'm not gonna sit up here and say, you heard me? Everybody doing it. But the higher you go, the more it get wicked. It gets wicked, son.
Say, bro, do you feel anything that people bringing forward that Puffy has done was a crime?
Wow. I wouldn't say he should be in the situation he's in, but I think he should definitely get a piece of the humble pie. How far they going? That's a little too extreme. $50 million bond, y'all reject that. Either he gonna get a cold felony probation situation for about 15 years, or he gonna sit down for about a good 7. But they're not gonna give him life. Because money talk and bullshit walk a marathon, baby. And you know that, he coming home. Delete that. Money talk. You heard me? This America, baby. Money talk, brother.
And on that, I challenge my Knotty crew. We haven't seen a mugshot. They wouldn't even give us the opportunity of a perp walk. TMZ leaked the footage. It was real, like, I felt like they was handling the diddler with kitten gloves, so to speak, right? And then you get all this media coverage of his family going to visit him and things like that. And I challenge you, Knotty crew. Because for all we know, he could be in witness protection. They could be doing all of this just to appease the public. Because of all the allegations and all the lawsuits that are coming out, you know, it's the pressure on the prosecution's office to do something about it, right? But how do we know they not all in cahoots together? I mean, Diddy been paying off police for years. And I remember one of the meetings, I can't remember if it was Governess or Stone Battle. She said he's going to go away and be silenced forever. Then I was listening to Celestial Tarot. She's been saying, she was like, he's not locked up. He's in a place where he's restricted and he can't do things. But she was like, he's not locked up. But now he's in a position where he has to ask for things. And he doesn't like that. He's not used to that. And I just listened to it and I said, you know what? Like, this is making me want to go to the trial more. Like, because if I do not actually see him, and them setting a trial date, May of 2025. I don't know, Knotty crew. They could be all in cahoots together. I don't trust the government. I don't trust none of them. They allow this trafficking industry to operate because it's $1 billion industry. The only reason why they're doing something about it now is because it has really come to the public forefront. So they have to make it seem like they're doing something about it and things like that. Like, until I see a mugshot, until I see, like, jail footage, I'ma go. I'ma try to. If I have to work, I have to work. But I'ma try to go. I gotta lay eyes on him myself to believe that he really locked up. I really do. Right. Is he testifying? Who knows? Like, it remains to be seen or whatever. But how do we know they're not trying to pull the wool over our eyes? I remember the trafficking victim, Allie Carter, and she was like, we can't fake our death, like Epstein. Like, I still don't, I will never believe that he deleted himself. But I still believe that either he is somewhere hiding, because he had that much money where he could just disappear and start a new life elsewhere in another part of the world. Or they deleted him on purpose. Same thing could be, like, the government love to play in our face. They love to play in our face. And again, I drive this narrative too. How we know Jigga didn't help set this all up. It orchestrated. I mean, look how he did his friend. Even Dame Dash is questioning things that happened 20 plus years ago when it comes to Aaliyah. So the industry has a way of playing in our faces and creating smoke mirrors for us to believe things are a certain way and they're not. Just like they want us to believe that they all really happy and they really, really not. And that's why I'm so grateful to my mom teaching me early about idolatry and not to put too much into celebrity. It's okay to appreciate a person's art and things like that, but it's not okay to idolize. Because at the end of the day, these people are just human, just like us. You know what I mean? And I think America, especially, has put celebrity so high to where people are fanning out and creating hate campaigns, like Nicki Minaj hate campaigns with their fan clubs, and they're attacking people and their character and stuff like that. And it's just a whole bully situation. Like, I refuse, especially for someone who wouldn't even care about me. They don't give about us. And we're the ones that make them rich, but they don't really like us, you know? So I just wanted to give y'all food for thought, Naughty Crew. I appreciate every last one of y'all joining me on this show, technical issues and all. But I just like to challenge my Naughty Crew to think outside of the box. And until I see like mug shots and actual pictures of him in court and stuff like that, this is all a game to them. It's all a facade as far as I'm concerned. And I'll do everything I can to try to go to the court case. I will. I need to lay eyes to make sure this is what the New York Southern District Attorney is presenting to. I need to make sure it's real. Yeah, I don't believe it until I see it with my own eyes. So I love you all. I appreciate every last one of you joining me. Let's leave it in the comments. Until next time, Naughty Crew, I'm out. 1.